Okay.
Cool. All right, so starting off with the main control stick. So ours are linked together in the front and back seat. So you'll be in the front seat,
Okay.
in the back seat. I can fly the plane just fine from the back seat, like if need be. Yeah, so they're linked together with cables. Cables go up to all the flight surfaces. Just kind of a brief crash course. Maybe that's not the best.
A splash course.
Yeah, splash course. There we go. So when we're flying around, like pulling back on the control stick, will bring the nose of the airplane up.
Okay.
It'll start climbing. The opposite, pushing forward, will lower the nose. The airplane will start descending. Moving the stick like left and right is kind of how you initiate a turn in the plane. So at first, if you push the stick left, it'll roll the wings. So the airplane won't start turning until you roll the wings and pull back slightly.
Okay.
So just rolling the wings, you'll be flying forward, like kind of angled. So you'll need a little bit of bank plus a little bit of pull, and that'll start turning.
Okay.
That's kind of the down and dirty of like how to use a control stick. It'll be a little bit more intuitive when we're up there flying around. Like it'll make sense. Like turn left, you push it left. And then we'll quickly just start on the left side over here and then kind of work our way up and around the instrument panel. So we're going to be using this switch quite a bit. This is a carburetor heat.
Okay.
So the carburetor heat essentially flows a little bit of warm air into the engine to help just make it run smoothly like when we come into land. So before we land, take the carburetor heat, pull it to the on position, and I'll make it super clear like when to do and pull it all the way. So we'll have the carburetor heat on for landing, and then before we take off, and when we're just normally flying around, it'll be pushed forward into the off position. Moving forward, we got the fuel selector there. So we have 2 gas tanks. There's one above us in each wing. We're going to stay on the right tank for the whole flight.
Okay.
We have about 3.5 hours worth of fuel on board right now. We'll only need about an hour, but we have plenty of reserve should we need it. But we'll leave the fuel selector alone, just on the right tank for the whole deal. Moving up here, we have the throttle. This is just like the gas pedal for the engine. So ours are linked together again with cables. So I have a throttle in the back seat here. Pushing it forward gives you more throttle, more power. So like for takeoff, it'll be all the way forward. And then when we come into land, you'll reduce it a little bit to help us slow down.
Does it stay all the way open while we fly?
Not all the way open. Up here we have a tachometer, just like in a car.
Sure.
So we'll pull it back to about 2,300 RPM.
Okay.
Is like the normal cruise setting. But I'll remind you of that once we're up and flying around. One thing that's kind of non-traditional about, I guess, like seaplanes to land planes, but maybe if you don't have a great frame of reference for land planes,
exactly.
Seem normal.
It's all new to me. So
on the back of the floats, see those big paddles that kind of stick up into the air? Those are called the water rudders.
Okay.
So we use those to steer when we're in the water, just taxiing around. To put them in the down position. So right now they're up out of the water. This is how they would be like when we're taking off and when we're flying around.
Okay.
When you're on the water and need to taxi the airplane, take this handle, lift it up, lower it down to the ground.
Okay.
And the water rudders drop down into the water, and they're linked. We have 2 foot pedals down here.
Okay.
They're linked to the foot pedals. So like pushing right on the pedal will make the plane turn right, pushing left turns left.
Okay.
And then before we take off, take the metal handle, pull it all the way up, go back on the hook, ready for takeoff.
Okay.
Cool. Moving down a little bit more, this handle is for the flaps. So the flaps are on the back of the wing. They're the big panels right here. When you pull that handle, the flaps will drop down. They kind of act like an air brake. Help it slow down to come into land. We have 2 different settings on them. So with the handle all the way down on the ground like this, this is for just normally like cruising around and flying around. For takeoff, take the handle, pull it to the first click.
Okay.
It's kind of like a parking brake where you don't have to press the button when you pull it.
Okay.
But to release it, you would have to pull back a little, press the button, and lower it down. So this is the first click for takeoff. You can see we have like a little bit of angle on the flaps.
Right.
And then for landing, it'll be the same handle, pull it all the way back to the second click.
Okay.
And that'll give us a lot of drag, help slow the plane down.
Right.
Once we're back on the water and we call it like cleaning up the airplane, or like going back to kind of a neutral configuration, just pull back on the handle a little bit, hit the button, lower it down slightly.
Okay.
All the way down to the floor. Yeah, cool. Moving up to the instrument panel. I want to kind of take a peek inside. So this red knob for the mixture is like the fuel. It regulates the fuel flow to the engine.
Yeah.
So when we're taking off and just flying around, and operating like normally, this is going to be pushed all the way in.
Okay.
And then the only time you'll need to use this, so Not to scary, but if you accidentally pull it and we're flying around, it will stop the engine.
Okay.
So that one will stay in the whole time.
Gotcha.
The only time... What's up? Oh, hey, hi. The only time you'll need to use it is when we're coming in to dock the airplane.
Okay.
We use that to shut the engine down.
Right.
So when we're like maybe 15 feet from the dock, we'll be like, hey, rest your hand on the mixture knob, don't pull it yet. And we'll say, okay, pull the mixture all the way out. Pull it, it'll take a sec for the engine to kind of sputter out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to kill the engine and that's going to slow us down.
This slows us down, this kills the engine.
Which do you do first?
This slows us down when we're flying.
Right.
So we're not, when we're on the water, we don't need to use flaps.
Right.
This shuts the engine off. We're not going to touch that when we're flying.
Okay.
It'll like fully shut the engine off.
Right.
For sure. That one will stay in the whole time.
Okay.
Cool. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, this one will turn the engine off. This one helps us land. They serve very different roles with each other. All right. Some of the instruments on the left is the airspeed.
Okay.
That just shows us how fast we're like traveling through the air. It'll make more sense when we're flying around, but we use the airspeed to determine how steeply we're climbing.
Okay.
The steeper you pitch up, the slower your airspeed is going to be, versus like the flatter you are, or if you point the nose down, right, you're going to speed up and you'll get more airspeed. So you'll kind of use the position of the stick to control the airspeed.
Okay.
It'll make more sense when we're flying around, I promise. The altimeter just shows us the altitude above the current setting. So we'll kind of reference that when we're flying around. Tachometer's down on the bottom left. You don't have to worry too much about these things here. This one shows you your bank angle and like how steep the turn is. And this one is like a trend instrument for if you're climbing or descending.
Okay.
Yep. Some additional things. Show you how to use the radio real quick. There's some electrical switches over here to turn the radio on. The radio's booting up there. So your primary job with the radio, we're going to be swapped. This is our radio here. So there are two frequencies that I'll need to talk to other pilots on. The only thing I'll have you do with this is swap the two frequencies.
Okay.
With that button on the right side. And I'll let you know when it'll be super clear. But yeah, we'll start on 122.7, and then later in the flight we'll swap to 122.9.
Okay.
It'll stay there for most of it. The last thing up here, it's kind of weird, is the ignition. So here we have the off position, right, left, and both.
Okay.
Normally when we're flying around, the ignition will be in both. So we have, on the engine, it has two redundant ignition systems.
Okay.
So like if one fails, the engine still runs, just for safety's sake. Before we take off, we want to test both of them and make sure they're both functioning properly. So we'll do, it's called an engine run-up, where I'll add some RPM to the engine, and I'll have you take the key, turn it to the L, go back to both, go to the R, and then back to both, just to make sure they're both functioning like
Gotcha.
independently of each other.
But then while flying, it stays on both.
It stays on both.
Okay.
Yeah, so that if one fails, the other one
kicks
automatically kicks in. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll leave that on both for the whole flight. That's about it for all of the flight control. It's a pretty simple airplane. Makes learning really nice. Yeah, do you have any questions of things we just went over? Anything that comes to mind?
No.
All right, and throughout the flight, like if anything pops up, we'll be on headsets with each other, so you can clarify.
And I am not hesitant to ask,
okay,
so
cool.
no worries.
Perfect. Just gonna wait for him to shut down. It gets a little noisy.
How long have you done this?
I've been flying for 4 years or 4.5 years. Been working at Kenmore for about 1.5 years.
Right on.
Been flying floats for maybe 2 years. So yeah, that's been fun. I'm happy with it. Okay, so yeah, that about sums up all the flight controls and interior stuff. Now we can jump into a quick safety briefing, and then we'll be out of here shortly.
Okay.
Do you need to use the restroom before we go?
Nope.
Are you ready to roll? Cool. Your bag, there's not a great spot for you to keep your bag up here.
Okay.
I'm going to stow it in the little baggage
Sure.
compartment in the back.
Scared of these as well.
Alright, just have, yeah, just a little baggage cubby back here.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a quick safety briefing, and then I'll have you hop in and get strapped in, and then we'll be out of here. Your seatbelt is a little bit different from like a normal airline seatbelt. It's a 4-point harness. So you have shoulder straps that'll come up and over. The tangs on the shoulder straps will sit flush like this. They'll kind of make a T with each other. If one is like turned the other way, they won't line up properly. Take the belt on the right side, that is the flat piece, and that goes through the openings on both of the tangs for the shoulder straps, and then into the receiver. This is like a normal airline style receiver. So it plugs into that side. You can keep the waist belt fairly snug around your lap for the whole flight. The shoulder straps will have to be a little bit looser because you'll need to be able to reach down to grab like the water rudders and the flap handle down there.
Okay.
So before we go, I'll just have you test to make sure you can like reach far enough forward. I'm gonna have you wear the seatbelt the whole time you're in the plane, taxi, takeoff, landing, all that stuff. In the very unlikely event that we capsize, we're gonna keep the seatbelt on until the plane stops moving, and we'll get life jackets passed out with the door open, and that'll be the very last thing to come off, just so you don't get disoriented inside of the plane. For life jackets, we have 2 vests back here. They're like the airline style life jackets.
Yep.
You would pull it out of the bag, put it over your head, snap the belt around your waist. If you need to inflate it, wait until you're outside of the airplane. And then there's the pull tab or the tube that you can inflate it with manually.
Okay.
Wait until you're outside of the airplane if you need to inflate it. I don't know if I said that, but just to make sure, so you don't get stuck in here. For the exit, we have 1 main door on board. Watch your hand there. So to operate the door, the window and door kind of close at the same time.
Okay.
To get them shut, you use the handle here. It only operates one direction. It pushes towards the floor. Can't lift it upwards. So to close the door, pull everything shut, push it down like that. Pins will lock in place, and then to open the door, the handle always goes towards your feet.
Okay.
The floor, push that down, everything opens to the outside. Additionally, the window on the left side is just kind of a thin piece of plexiglass.
Okay.
So that can be pushed out and used as an emergency exit if needed. For other emergency equipment, there's a fire extinguisher. This way. Sorry, I need to move this airplane real quick. Asking me to move stuff. Okay, here you can hop back on the phone. We'll resume where we left off.
Okay.
I like your shoes, by the way. Those are super rad.
Thank you. They're the sparkling shoes of adventure.
Yes, they are. Quite the adventure we're going on today. For other emergency equipment in the back of the plane, there's a fire extinguisher mounted to the floor. If I need you to use it, I'll pass it up to you. It's a standard fire extinguisher. Pull the pin out of the handle, point at the fire, squeeze the handle until the fire's out. We also have a little first aid kit back there in a white metal box.
Okay. I think that's what I was on last time. Can you grab on the outside of my bag or some sunglasses, just in case? Perfect, thank you.
Yep. Cool, additional things. So in the back seat, I'll have some visibility ahead of the airplane, but it'll be not great. So if I could have your help looking out for boats or any obstacles or any if you see something in front of us, let me know.
Okay.
We'll talk about it and come up with a solution. Additionally, so in flight instruction, there's something called positive exchange of controls, which means we always want to be like crystal clear on who's flying the airplane. If we're both trying to fly at the same time, things can go downhill. So kind of what that looks like is, let's say, I start flying. I'm ready for you to fly. I would say your controls. You say my controls. I say your controls. It's like a 3-part back and forth, like crystal clear, is making sure we're both on the same page. Let's do a little role play. So if I'm flying, I want you to fly. I would say your controls.
My controls.
Your controls. Now you're the one flying.
Okay.
That works vice versa. Like if you're flying, if you want me to take the airplane, you would say your controls. I would say my controls. You would say your controls.
Now what's the reverse? If you want to take away from
I say my controls.
Okay.
You say
your controls.
I say my controls.
Okay.
It's always a 3-part back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. The one kind of like caveat to that is if I say my controls, let go of everything, and I'll take the plane, and then we can do the verbal handoff back and forth. But first and foremost, let go of the plane.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
I'm fine. You're the
Yeah.
professional.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So just making sure we're on the same page.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Do you have any questions about any of the safety stuff or any of the flight controls before we get rolling?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, wonderful. You can go ahead and hop on in. Keep a good grip on your phone. Sometimes that stuff will slide out of pockets. There are some handles up top that are pretty good. Reasonably secure. Reach all the way down and grab the flag.
Yep.
The straps will be fairly loose around your shoulders.
Yeah.
The waist belt should be nice and tight. Cool. And then just an additional thing. Once we get going, you'll have a headset that's up here on the left.
Okay.
Instead of earmuffs. You can hold off on putting it on for now.
Okay.
The microphone will be on the left side. And it'll kind of like pull down. It'll have to be super close to your mouth. If you can't hear yourself talking, I also can't hear you.
Okay.
Like you'll hear your voice come through the ear cups. And then let me know if the volume is too high or low, and I'll help you get that all sorted out.
All right.
A lot of seaweed here. Okay, we're gonna come up with kind of a game plan. Once we get away from the dock, I'm gonna have the plane fired up. We'll be taxiing away from the dock. The water rudders, so the metal handle that's on the left side. Once we taxi maybe 10-15 feet away from the dock, I'm gonna have you grab the handle and release it down to the floor. If we were to do it now,
Just
as
gonna
we
get
taxi
full
up,
of gunk.
it'll get full of seaweed and we'll kind of lose some steering ability. So we'll do it just once we're a little bit further from the dock. I'll say you can put the water rudders down, just unhook the handle, drop it all the way to the floor.
Okay.
If we do pick up some seaweed, I'll just ask you to grab the handle, pull it up, drop it down, pull it up, drop it down. That'll knock off a bunch, if it does pick up some seaweed.
Okay.
That'll knock all the seaweed off. Looks like we got one plane coming in off the left side, so we'll wait for him to get a little bit closer and past us, and then we'll fire up and get on out of here. Like maybe just a minute or so.